My name's Chris.
And I'm Kristie.
This is Sydney calling.
Don't you mean miscellaneous city calling?
No, fuck that for a joke. It's Sydney calling. This is the Washing Up podcast, everybody.
It is.
And we are back for This is Sydney calling.
It's Eurovision times, the happiest time of the year.
It is the most wonderful time of all of the times that exist in all of the histories.
Yeah, I'll play Ya Ya Ding Dong.
Now that accent, of course, from me and that dialogue from me is probably direct from Eurovision hosts of the past who, when the auto cue goes down, they're kind of screwed. Welcome, of course, everybody to, again, This is Sydney calling. Obviously, we've been watching Eurovision from the John Olasand Memorial Super Spreader Dome in Rotterdam.
And boy, what a delight it's been to sit there and just have a little shiver go down your back every time you pan to the audience, sitting so close to each other without a mask in sight.
Isn't it wonderful to watch? And I mean, it's not like it's claimed anybody, just one of the competition favourites and last year's winner, which, as we went to hit record, Duncan Lawrence has tested positive and won't be at the grand final. We're big fans of Eurovision. I'm really happy to be doing it, but I'm like, JFC, like there is just so much that can go wrong, and it's starting to go wrong, isn't it? What I really found weird, by the way, is that all of this stuff about they couldn't do it remotely last year.
Yeah. And
what we're finding this year is they could have completely done it remotely.
Absolutely. Like, okay, I think we'll get to it, but I think Montaigne was hit hard by the fact that she didn't go there and perform live. But then we look at someone like Dadi who, gave it their all in rehearsals and was lucky they did because, they had Johan test positive for COVID, and so they've had to use that footage. Oh, so?
It works. They could have done a remote Eurovision last year, which would have given Dadi his rightful win. And, so this is, obviously, this year is being done, and we're, as I said, it's tricky because on one hand, we love Eurovision and we love this time of year and we're really looking forward to this. On the other hand, it's really fucking scary every time you see them all on, as you said, on top of each other.
And the thing is that since April, I looked it up because I'm like, maybe the Netherlands have had a bit of a fall. Cases have actually spiked since April. So they had a massive spike last year, but they're having another spike now. And it's just, it's such a shit time in the world that I love Eurovision, but we're in a fucking pandemic. Like, you just can't get away from that fact because the germs are going to get you.
And now to completely get away from that fact, let's talk about what has happened so far.
Okay, let's get on to the
because we're going to be exactly what we hate in the world.
Yes, so let's put a pause on all the nastiness and the sadness and all the dead people.
So what we're going to do is a bit of a preview of the grand final. Mm-hmm. And then after we've we'll quickly go through the running order. We'll talk about the running order and songs that are there. Then we'll have a quick chat around the semis and the songs that we're pouring one out for.
Yeah.
That didn't quite make it. And I think we'll finish off by talking about sort of our top fives and where we think they're going to go.
Yes.
So let's start with the running order for the grand final, which they were, look, I'll give them credit, they were fast with the running order this year.
It is, and it's so good to see so many celebrities come along. I mean, we've got Lady Gaga here opening.
Several times Lady Gaga is here, but I mean, opening, obviously, with, as we know, Alejandro for Cyprus. So...
Oh, sorry, that's... El Diablo.
El Diablo, yes. Oh. And I think, I believe I said on the tweets watching it in the semi-final live, I don't think I've heard anyone sing more dispassionately about the devil.
No.
She was very much going through the motions.
It's like, she's obviously an atheist. She doesn't believe in God or the devil. She's just...
No, it's like she's talking about this sort of, I gave my heart to Alejandro, as we've talked about. Not El Diablo, it's Alejandro. But... she's supposed to be writhing around in a sexy way, talking about giving herself to the devil. But it's the most lackluster sort of, the devil is here and making love to me, everybody.
Maybe she's part of a long line from a witch cult. And, just selling her soul to the devil is just part of everyday life.
It's a weekday. What happened? It was Tuesday.
Yes. Oh, little Tiffany, became a woman. So we're now, she's selling her soul to the devil.
On Tuesdays, that's what we do. On Wednesdays, we bake.
Thursdays, we're harvesting henbane.
And on Friday night, it's movie night.
But at 5 o'clock every day, we walk the familiars.
You know how they get if you don't walk them.
Exactly, little shits.
Then we had Albania. That's pretty much all you can say about Albania.
Yep.
And isn't it interesting to note, and you commented on this before while we were watching semi-final 2, did they have a bulk sale
on
silver/tan dresses with like the drapes on them? Because they're all wearing the same fucking outfit.
I do feel that during COVID, Beyonce had nothing else to do apart from clean out her wardrobe. And so on Celebrity Etsy,
Cetsy,
Celebrity Etsy, Beyonce's there, just like, here's something that I was going to wear to Lollapalooza, but chose not to.
Nothing else to do now. Look, when I decided to do an amazing guest spot on like Grey's Anatomy, all of those sorts of things, but that didn't happen, of course. So then we have Israel in third with Set Me Free, and look, politics aside, it's a bad song.
And it's a shame. She's got a good vocal range, but, pulling out a Mariah Carey high note does not make a Eurovision win.
It's a stock standard disco number, but with ridiculously weird high vocals because they know she can do it. Yeah. And I would have thought that they would have written something that was like maybe suited to that. Look, possibly a bit better.
Unfortunately, Israel don't have the budget for that at the moment because they've got to buy. They're a bit busy. All those extra telephone calls they have to make. Let's move on.
Let's move on, please, because I don't want the podcast getting blacklisted. Because apparently everyone's getting blacklisted nowadays for speaking, truth. Anyway, Belgium.
Yes, Belgium.
Hooverphonic, not Hooverstank, not Stereophonic. Hooverphonic. Now, I have heard of them before.
Yeah.
They were on late 90s, early 2000s soundtracks.
Okay.
But, they were the miscellaneous song in the background that no one remembers.
Okay, so they'd be the one where, I don't know, what's his name?
Nev Campbell would be driving to the school.
Yes. You'd see bloody Ryan Felipe.
Yes, Ryan Felipe and Nev Campbell would be in a scene there together. And
Hooverphonic in the background.
Yes, and you wouldn't hear enough of it to identify them. It was just melancholy bullshit.
Yes.
And look, that's basically what they're performing, is this weird... Look... One of my favourite songs that never made it through to a grand final is Stones.
Oh, wasn't that great?
Zibs, yes.
Yeah.
And this is a slowed down, depressed version of Stones.
They went to some of the cafes in Amsterdam.
And they decided to back it right down. And every time they walked in the door, someone in the door went, "You're in the wrong place." And they went, "Cool, let's just do that."
Yeah.
It's so much better than what we had, which was Eurovision's everywhere. And I'm a bit disappointed. Belgium have done things like, Tom Dice, who was having a conversation, if you remember, with the audience about people telling him, "Tom, you've gone too far." I mean, apparently he went too far just playing a guitar. And then, of course, Blanche.
Because every fucking party, there's Tom whipping out his guitar. Okay, here's Wonderwall. No, Tom, you've gone too far.
Exactly, he's hated at parties. But then, of course, the other one is Blanche, Triple J's favourite artist. I mean, I don't think she's ever been played on it, but my God, she should be.
Yeah.
And we went from that to the wrong place with a band that is trying a third career renaissance.
Can we rewind back to Blanche? I'd really like her and Kenny Loggins to team up to both do their versions of Danger Zone.
Oh, that could be good.
You're gonna ride it all alone in the
Danger Zone. Are you willing to take my hand? Bow, 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 bow. Then we have...
For the new movie, the new Top Gun movie.
Oh, brilliant! Somebody call Blanche. Anyway, fifth is, for me, the weirdest song, and there's a lot riding on this. The weirdest song to make it through to the grand final, Russian Women. The reason it is so weird is I can't classify it, and B, I don't know if I love it or hate it. And that's with every performance. My mind changes.
See, I can't focus on the song because all I see is in the background all these different types of Russian women, including some who I think are drag queens and trans women. And I'm like, I don't know if you'll ever be seen again.
No, like Putin. Like, he's a person. He exists.
And so do his special people who go and do special errands.
It's a really interesting. It's an interesting song. I sort of get with the message of it, but by the same token, I mean, I fear for everybody involved.
I like how she's dressed like the Russian Rosie the Riveter.
Yes, the Russian Rosie.
Yes, we hate America, but we will exploit their propaganda for our own uses and Eurovision.
Exactly, and look, it's important. Then we have at number 6,
Je me casse.
Destiny, Malta, Je me casse.
Now, there are a lot of people borrowing, stealing, or badly impersonating a lot of famous people at the moment. She is the best of how you pay homage to someone else. So they've taken a lot of the Lizzo styling. What she hasn't done is changed anything about herself.
No, and
her singing, her songs, it's her.
The vocal when you get to the breakdown bit just before the literally the pyro moment.
Yeah,
and they've even built that into the song. When you get to that vocal moment, she is unbelievable with her vocal range.
She's amazing, and I really feel that she's only 18. We've got to keep that into perspective. But I'm fucking pissed off with all the fat-phobic bullshit going on in the forums. Like, oh, she shouldn't be wearing that. Oh, God forbid you see some fat legs.
It's almost like you should be listening to the fucking lyrics of the song.
I know. I did hear she's considering changing her outfit for the grand final. However, I think that's because she's also wearing a short silver...
She bought something in the Beyonce sale, everybody.
Yes, exactly. She's thinking, no one's going to be wearing this.
Who else is on Cetsy?
No, maybe she saw everyone buying the Beyonce thing, and maybe that's like an ex-Lizzo outfit. And
she rang her up. She's like, can I have that one? And they're like, sure.
It's like, sure, doll, come over and see me when all this pandemic stuff's over.
Then we have Portugal, the Black Mamba. I love the Black Mamba.
And I told you why. I think I know why. It's because they're like Lin-Manuel Miranda and the Beatles got together and
had
made...
a child. And the answer is the Black Mamba. Love is on my side. It's kind of snuck up on me a little bit. It's one of these ones where I'm like... and I listen to bits and pieces. A lot of people go in blind. We've listened to all of them beforehand.
Yeah.
I didn't think much of it in the pre-record.
No.
Live, they were brilliant.
And that's the thing. There's a few things like I honestly liked Russia in their film clip.
Yes.
But then I saw her live and I'm like, this sucks balls.
Russia has the potential to be an absolute car crash on the night.
Oh,
if it goes south in any way, shape, or form, it's going to be a car crash. But the Black Mamba and Love Is On My Side, it's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
I mean, someone commented, oh my God, I can't believe he's not playing that guitar live with the solo. None of them are playing live. You're
no one plays instruments live at Eurovision. It's known that you don't play instruments live on stage.
No. To give you a bit of an idea, folks, and I don't want to break the fourth wall, Dima Bilan did not play the piano in Never Gonna Let You Go when she burst out of it. That wasn't him hitting the string, okay? That piano didn't work. Baby, know what's happened to us. We are dancing on broken glass. Can't stand no more. Piano doesn't work.
Look,
just want to...
when Petra and Mons with their clean whistle.
The Swedish clean knuckle.
Clean knuckle, that's it.
The Swedish clean knuckle.
But he wasn't really playing the clean knuckle on the night.
No, he pre-recorded. Then we got, speaking of Beyonce, past, present and future, with Hurricane from Serbia doing Loco Loco.
Beyonce had a buy two, get one free out of this range. Including the hair extensions.
Now, what I loved is Beyonce, if she'd known that if she'd known that Hurricane existed, single lady, she didn't need to get her male choreography to be the third one of the dancers. Hurricane would have done the whole thing.
Yeah, just they're there. I do feel this act started with the hair extensions and built on from there. Then they got the singers. Then they got the Beyonce outfits. And I do appreciate that they didn't all, they all had to have a different personality. So you've got a redhead, a brunette, and a blonde.
And they walked into a bar.
Yes.
Probably, in all likelihood. Then, we have the United Kingdom, James Newman with Embers. Now, this was one that was actually not too bad on the video clip.
Yeah.
Poor James.
Poor James.
His live performance in the pre-taped was not good.
No, now...
He needs to hope COVID doesn't hit him, because if he has to rely on his pre-tape...
I think he's a lovely person. He's one of those people, lovely person.
I'd love to have a drink with him.
Yeah. I'd like to see him now dressed like that in a Guy Ritchie film as the bouncer that's trying to sell, like, to break it out as an artist. So, like, he works for the boss, the big mob boss.
Which would be Vinnie Jones, because it always is.
Yeah. And he's out the front, and, like, Vinnie Jones has got, like, a hold over some recording artist or, like, manager. And every time the manager comes up to see him, you know, the bouncer's there and it's James. He's like, oh, I've got a new one for you, mate. You want to hear it? Well, he's got like a Yorkshire accent, but I can't do that at the moment. Yorkshire accent. Oh, I've got a new one for you.
Scrumping.
It's my new single called Scrumping. Scrumping Till Midnight.
As Bill Bailey once famously said, you know, scrumping's what we used to do. It's basically fruit larceny. But you're right. He's more of a mob boss in a Guy Ritchie film. Or the heavy who sings.
Yeah.
Then we get, after that, we
do Rock and Roller 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Scrumping Till Midnight.
Then we've got Grease. Look, first of all, I think she possibly wins Outfit of the Night.
I fucking loved it. Like, okay, it's a modern take on an old classic. This is early 2000s outfit brought into the next generation. You know, it's the tight pants with the short midriff, but the purple and the gloves. I loved it. The colour was stunning, and I would happily have those gloves for ballet.
Stefina with Last Dance. And look, it's not a bad song. It's not a great song. I wouldn't like to be watching it live because the green screen, they showed photos from live and looked terrible with the green screen.
Look, it's one of the things that I'm not liking about this year is people who disrespect the fact that it's a live show.
And we'll talk about Ireland in a minute.
Yeah, because, you know, here they are in a live show and she's choosing, you know what's going to look better than actually staging this thing? Looking like I'm an early 2000s Disney show where I've suddenly become a rock star and doing my first fucking video.
Camp Rock, the New Year's. So we've then got, what a double this is. So we have Switzerland at 11. Mm-hmm. Jean's Tears. I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce it. It's about the universe. I didn't quite get this in the video clip.
No.
I thought that I was worried the whole thing was going to be video. Watching him perform live and listening to him perform live, that is brilliant.
His vocals are amazing, and the staging. This is staging that is done not only for people at home, but for the live performance, and it's beautiful. And it allows him to come through. You know, it's styled, but he's so enigmatic, and just the little, like, flourishes in his body.
He had
the white boy black dancing.
Oh, brilliant. He had the night of his life. His work on the lounges.
I'm sure he was snacking on some Kronza Kake or something.
The biscuit thing was so funny.
Yeah.
He was energy plus, and like it's a song where I'm like, that was going to be really dull, and I thought the audience would fall asleep. No. He sold it beautifully. He performed it really well.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with him. I still don't necessarily want it to win, but if it did, I wouldn't rage because he's brilliant. However,
yes.
Number 12 on the night. Iceland. Dadi.
Oh.
Dadi and Giglamo. Dadi and the Machine. With, of course, 10 years. Not Think About Things. 10 years.
Dadi has carried this competition for the past 2 years.
Yep.
And, Dadi and the Machine have been, I think, one of the most beautiful lights in all of 2020 and now 2021.
I think they've done so much for Eurovision.
Yes.
Like win, lose or draw, they've done so much for this damn competition. And obviously, you know, a COVID test at the best of times is not good. But, you know, obviously, they made the decision as well, and I agree with them 100%. They said, like, we're a band.
We're in this together.
We all can't perform, so we won't perform with minus a member.
Yeah.
There were sort of interviews and stuff like that afterwards when they were doing all the post semi-final interviews, and they were talking about the fact that it's really tough to keep the morale up right now, and they were finding it a bit tough. But they said that all the love that they were getting and all the energy they were getting poured into them, which they said that was keeping them going. And they were doing things like with the boys with the phones on their heads, pouring drinks into them and stuff like that while they were there performing. But
they are the most genuine group of people who, are able to straddle that whole authentic. They're like commercialized authenticism. It's like everything that they are, they've been able to package and market beautifully without it being forced or feeling. You feel like you're a part of the cult rather than, or the gang rather than being.
And if you've not seen Dadi's performance last year that he did live when Eurovision was supposed to happen, where he did his hour-long show from his apartment in Berlin, go and watch it on YouTube. It's fucking brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant.
Arnie makes a little appearance.
Arnie makes a couple of cameos reading emails out and reading tweets out. And I love the guitar. And everything about that performance. We'll talk about them a bit more in a minute.
But the whole group contributes. So from the rings, like I learned on Nikkie Tutorial's interview with him, the whole rings are made by his sister Sigrun.
Yes.
Because she's a goldsmith.
As you would be in that family.
Yes.
So he's also been on a quest, by the way, to get his father to 1,000. It was 1,000 followers on Twitter. Now he's trying for 100,000 because they made 1,000 really easily.
Yes.
All right. Spain.
Oh, you're stopping me there. You go, stop with the Dadi trivia.
No, because we're going to come back.
Okay.
Because I get the feeling, because I said we're going to finish off talking about our top fives, and something tells me he's going to be there somewhere.
All right.
Where we probably won't be back to is Blas Canto, the Spanish act. Now
he's rude. He moons everyone on stage.
Yeah, look,
moon.
He's got a fully operational Death Star behind him.
He's gone to Alderaan places.
Oh,
his song is insipid.
Your Alderaan place. No,
the song is insipid. The staging is meh, and he is just a twat waffle.
Yeah, a little bit.
Is that too harsh?
And I feel obviously he's obviously suffered loss during COVID. I am going to say it, and I'm not a bad person for saying this because I do need to clarify it. He said that his grandmother died and then dedicated it to his mother who died of COVID, but he said his grandmother died of COVID. Thank all the best. Miss you, mum.
Is it maybe a language barrier?
Possibly.
Or just...
I think it's the language barrier, but the way it came out, it was almost like somebody who couldn't get the story straight.
Yeah, and I miss my great aunt so much. You mean grandmother? Yes, my mother.
Yes, by Uncle George. And again, obviously terrible loss, but it's just the way it came out was just weird. Speaking of weird, let's get to Moldova, shall we? Now, Natalia Gordorenko, I first encountered her, like most of us, in one of the worst songs in Eurovision history of Hey Loco. Hey Loco, please, my poco. You are breaking my heart. And she's done it a couple more times since then. Moldova, as we know, only have 2 acts.
Yes, them and the Sunshine.
Her and Sunstroke Project.
Sorry.
So at some point they're going to mash them up. But in the because in the meantime,
epic sax man.
She decided to hold the longest note in Eurovision history. What she didn't decide to do was hold any of these notes in key.
Now, the other unfortunate thing for her too is that she rocked up to Beyonce's Cetsy store a bit late in the game. She just had to go with what was in the sales bin.
But she did borrow another hairpiece from our opening act of El Diablo, so that's fantastic.
I do also appreciate that for the backup dancers, they chose to buy some of the old outfits from The Matrix.
Look, and there's a bit of a Matrix theme running through the second part of this. So Act 1 will finish with Spain.
Yeah.
So Act 2 opens as Act 1 began with a woman wearing that same dress with that short blonde hair.
It's The Matrix. It's a deja vu. We know it's a glitch in The Matrix. It's a glitch in the Eurovision Matrix.
But everyone will think there's a glitch in the Matrix because after Moldova is Germany. Now, Germany is very divisive. I love Jendrik.
It's fun. I love it. It's so much fun.
Is it going to win? Fuck no. It's not going to go anywhere near it. Is it good? Fun? You better believe it is.
Yes, it's not the greatest song in the world, but it's not the worst song in
It's
the world.
the first song he's ever written.
And it's fun.
Like,
He's fun.
He is a musical theatre performer from Germany. I've watched the documentary. It's on YouTube. It's in German with subtitles. That's how I understood it. But he's a musical theatre performer from Germany.
And
his dream was to perform at Eurovision. And he realised he was never going to get there. So he wrote a fucking song.
There we go. And there you go. And I really feel, because he's from Germany, in order to bankroll it, all that cake smushing at the end of the film clip, they then sold on to a German porn production, you know?
100% cake smushing is a thing.
Yeah.
Now, Jendrik does talk about you can wiggle that middle finger, it'll never wiggle back to you, followed by Finland with Dark Side. So it's I Don't Feel Hate backing onto Dark Side, which talks about put your middle fingers up in the air. So there's good news. Jendrik's dancer.
Yes.
In the middle finger costume.
Could just come back out. And I think if she came back out holding a cookie, they might actually get people to join, like they keep showing us on their hand, on their guitar.
It's a fascinating, the join thing. I think I said while we were watching it, I wanted two other guitars to say The Navy and get all Ivar et Niage on us. Because it was like join.
Do you think they're mixing it with Cyprus in terms of trying to get more souls for the devil?
Oh, so it's an El Diablo crossover.
It's an El Diablo crossover. They're both out the back, you know, her in her silverness, you know, them in their darkness, and just, you know, conjuring spirits.
I appreciated Finland's drinking, by the way, at the semi-final.
Look, it was...
Everyone else had the bottles of beer, which, you know, sponsored by Heineken, obviously sponsoring the event. And it's sitting...
I wonder why.
Who knows? But I did have a friend of mine once who went over to Holland, did the tour of the Heineken factory, and sent me... They used to do video postcards, and she sent me a video postcard of her from the Heineken factory, and all she captioned it with was, "Sorry about the weirdness in this video, I'm stoned." Which is the most Amsterdam thing I've ever received. But... I think that what I loved about them was everyone else had a drink there, or maybe had like a half a glass of wine or something every time they cut back to Finland. The Heinekens are 3/4 of the way gone. They're just going, yep, toasting the camera. Except for one of the band who did have a cheeky shardy.
Oh, there we go.
And that was fair. When they won, like, they're all with their beers going, "Rrr!" And he's in the Chardonnay in the background going, woo! I'm like, that's not that rock. And I mean, they are, of course, Finland Park.
The fact that you were sitting there singing,
I blended all of them in there.
You did, all the Linkin Park
in the
songs.
end, and like Numb. You could sing all of them through the middle.
You could also sing a bit of Evanescence through it, couldn't you? Like it's...
How can you tell?
The unfortunate thing, though, is their vocals suck balls.
They're not good. If you want good rock vocals, we'll come to that.
Yeah.
So we then go to Bulgaria, or as you've started before.
Insipid Eilish.
Yep.
This is the opposite to Malta, right? Destiny is, you know, taken a few things styling-wise, which I think is fair enough, but she's her own singer. Here we have a girl whose voice is affected like Billie Eilish, and then whose outfit and staging is all ripped off Billie Eilish. There is nothing about her coming through. And it looks... You know, like, this is not me hating on Billie Eilish. I fucking love that artist. You know, everything she did, she chose and she did it. But, you know, Insipid Eilish has just been thrown into this, you know, this, you know, like fucking pajama set with big fucking shoes and a gold chain. Not as many as Billie Eilish. No. The nails, and yeah, they might be all pastel colours, but it's still Billie Eilish.
Look, a lot of people absolutely adore this, and I think this might be the unpopular part of the podcast. I don't care. I didn't really like her. Not that it wasn't bad. It was bland for me, and I don't think you'll get away with bland in this Eurovision.
No.
Which is good, because you don't want that. Making sure we don't get away with bland is our next artist, obviously. It's The Roop. Lithuania, The Roop. Look, I wasn't a massive fan of The Roop last year. They were fine, but I wasn't a massive fan of their song. Discotheque is brilliant.
Yes, and I feel like it's the perfect anthem for lockdown. Yep. It's about dance alone.
Dance alone. Dance alone. Dance alone. And they are so much fun.
Yep, and he's in it. yeah, it's a joy. It's not going to win. Don't need it to win, but I'm happy it's there.
Then there's the Ukraine.
Oh, Ukraine! Here we have Trinity, Carrie-Anne Moss in her Ukrainian...
The Matrix is real. What the fuck is this? I love it. I love it. I'm not saying I don't love it.
Okay, good.
But what the fuck is this?
This is folk music mixed well. This has been done before very poorly, but this is folk music and folk vocals mixed beautifully with electronica, and I'm here for it. I love it.
Oh, it's spectacular, and I absolutely adore them.
And I'm really glad she's there because, you know, once the Matrix starts playing up, she is going to sort some shit out. She's going to find Neo.
We need someone to sort shit out because, like, the Matrix could break at any point in Eurovision. Mm-hmm. It's appearing all over the place. Next, we have France.
The machines are taking over. Oh my god! What if Dadi and the machine? Oh my god! They're controlling the Matrix.
Oh my god! Although if they were controlling the Matrix, they wouldn't get COVID.
That's
true. France next. So France, Barbara Pravi with Voila, and if you don't know what's called Voila, just listen to it once because the chorus is nothing but her yelling Voila, Voila as she goes more manic and mental. And you know what? It's really fucking good.
It's really fucking good. I don't think it should win. You know, it's an homage to Edith Piaf and every other, you know, older French singer.
It feels like some form of crescendo song in the middle of a musical.
Yes, it's Cabaret 2, Electric Tap Shoe. it's lovely. She's enigmatic. I'll watch it.
I love it. It's one of the favourites to win. Who knows if it does or doesn't win. But look, if it does win, I won't be raging about it. No. I'd prefer other things, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Azerbaijan with Mata Hari. I do want her to take a quiz to tell me who the fuck Mata Hari was, because I think by this point the reference is a bit outdated. I know she keeps on singing the word spy, so I think she might have a vague concept. But I don't know for sure. It's bland.
Ariana Wrong Day. You know, it's just move along.
And we will move along because next is Tix.
Oh, he's cool.
Fallen Angel. It's a kitsch Eurovision song that'll finish in the middle of the pack.
You know, like it's Angel's brought us his sick younger brother.
Again, it's insipid pop, but it's good insipid pop.
I like what he stands for. I like his, you know, representing people with gosh, I'm going. You know what I'm talking about? Tourette's. That's it. I'm having my little vague brain.
Having your own moment.
Having my own moment. Yes.
Then we've got the Netherlands. Now, the Netherlands song screams to me, we don't want to host again.
No.
And you can always tell. Like, you can always tell when a host country wants to win again versus when a host country goes, we're not doing this a second time. And the Netherlands, look, to be fair, in history, if any country had the right to go, we don't want to do this again, it's the Netherlands. They've had to hold this over for 2 years and they've had to bear immense cost.
Yeah, I think it's fine. And they're not going to recoup it back because, you know, Eurovision usually brings, you know, an offset because you get the tourists and the economy and all that kind of stuff, but you're not going to get that this year.
Then at 24, we have Italy, Måneskin, the rock song. Now, we said before, Finland's rock vocal is not very good.
Italy's, on the other hand, brilliant.
This is spot on.
Yeah.
I'm a bit confused about the fact that it's the overwhelming favourite at the moment, but good on it. It's not my favourite. I don't hate it either. I think it's good. I think it's very good. Again, I won't be irate if it wins, but I'd be a bit amazed if it did actually win. I think it might run fairly close. It'll run fairly well, but I think there are other songs that should probably beat it.
I feel like they're a toned down Hatari though. Like Hatari, you know, they're an actual, like, you know, techno punk band
who are calling for the downfall of capitalism in the middle of the show, which
exactly.
is great.
Which I think it's fantastic. These guys feel more not manufactured, but stylized. But they're fantastic. I'd go and join. Like, if they were like Rock Bitch and hold a sex orgy afterwards, I'm there.
You'd be there completely.
By the way, if you don't know who Rock Bitch are, go fucking check them out. They're just. I didn't know these people existed, and now my life is complete.
And now she's happy. 25 is Sweden with Voices. Now, open statement, we're big fans of the Mamas and really wanted them to win the Swedish nomination again. I didn't hate this initially, but the more you listen to this, it is the most formulaic begging and pandering to the audience Eurovision entry this year, and it's not very good.
No, it's a shame. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I just don't have a lot to say about it because
it's actually in the current betting, it's behind our last entrant, which is San Marino.
Wow.
San Marino is more of a favourite to win than Sweden at the moment.
Wow.
And San Marino sent it with Adrenalina.
Featuring Pitbull. Oh no, hold on. Flow Rider.
No, hang on a minute. No, let's change that up again.
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J, yes, completely.
The guy from Barbie.
Renee. Yes, Renee from Aqua.
Come on, San Marino, let's go party.
I've talked about this before. Flow Rider has appeared in a number of things because he likes appearing at the opening of envelopes. He's performed at WrestleMania a few times because, like, some guy was needed to come out and go, whoa, 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 whoa. He also appeared at the NHL All-Star Game one day, miming to his own song and going, yeah, 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 for which you got paid millions of dollars for doing nothing.
And look, I heard that San Marino had tried to get T-Pain, but they didn't have the
Auto-tune doesn't work in San Marino.
Auto-tune budget.
Also, she's like a decent height.
Yes.
So T-Pain didn't know what to do with Sade. So
Tall A,
medium size A. So it didn't quite work there. So look, it's a song. He's not very good in it.
No.
It must be said, the song was better before he gets there.
This does feel a little Miss Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, just Dita Von Teese in the background.
Dita Von Teese in the background for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, she's not got a purpose. Now, that's the running order of the grand final. We'll quickly go through some of the notables from the semi that didn't make it through. Pour one out for the homies. Let's start with Montaigne. Yeah,
look, if Montaigne was in this semi-final and semi-final 2, I think she'd be in.
I tweeted out this morning that in semi-final 2, if they needed to give out the spots, they should have just given Dadi 5 of the 10. Because semi-final 2 was weak. It really was. I think Australia was unlucky with what semi-final they were in. Look...
And it was also political. Like, Australia, you know, we have tight border control, and I'm happy with that. But... I feel that something like Eurovision, like if this was an Olympic thing and they were sending our Olympians across to Tokyo, which is that still happening?
Yep,
or not?
They're vaccinating the entire Olympic team to send them.
So they're going to be sending sports people across there. Now, I don't expect the sports people will be paying for their quarantine when they come back in the country, but they told Montaigne she has to pay for her own quarantine, didn't they?
I believe so.
Like, it's just fucked up. So she's like, well, I can't afford to do that.
Yeah. Look, she's done a lot of really good publicity. Look, Eurovision deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah.
They've got her involved in everything. She's been a part of a bunch of different videos. They did a couple of them when they did some, like, Zoom calls with all the artists.
Yep.
And she's been in a bunch of those together.
Yeah.
Dadi Freya and her have had a bit of a thing where, like, Dadi's, they did the who would you give your points to.
Yeah, and Dadi was like...
Dadi said Montaigne.
Montaigne said...
So, like, again, they've had... Look, she's had a really good run. I like Technicolor. I didn't mind the performance. I thought that SBS did what they could with the staging, like, especially since it was just in the SBS studios.
Yeah, but I don't think it was joyful enough.
It wasn't.
And it didn't play up the superhero aspect enough. Like,
you really wanted that.
Like, this whole thing, right? Like, okay, so it was premiered at the Sydney Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras.
Yep.
And she was in white, and it was, you know, joyful and fun. You could see it was a bit rough around the edges because she'd only probably just started. I mean, I love Montaigne because she is, like, the most awkward person to choreograph, but she gives it her all. You know, she's like, I'm fucking doing it and I'm singing.
Well, I mean, remember after she won with Don't Break Me, the first thing she did was went and got a pizza.
Yes. with
her and Jaguar Jones sitting there eating Dominoes.
Yes. And I feel that, you know, if instead of making her dance, they just got a soccer ball out, she'd be a lot more, like,
100%.
enigmatic but unpredictable on stage. I just think going with the black without any change up, like, I expected it to go really bright, really colourful, just more joyful.
When they started with the black, I thought they'd do a burst of colour.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
Yeah, so, and we know that our government is just like fucking hacking our independent broadcasters to...
Although, what I will say is in the last budget, as much as they hacked everything to pieces, they have actually budgeted for Eurovision for the next few years.
Oh, that's good.
So it's included in the budget.
Oh.
But, obviously, this year they decided, well, we'll just sort of... I feel really bad for Montaigne because I kind of feel like there's a bit of, well, we have to let her represent the country because they've got someone they want to take. And they were going to do it this year, but they decided they couldn't do that to Montaigne. So Montaigne does this year by remote, and by next year, hopefully, they will send Dummy in.
Do you think Scott Morrison is a big Dummy in fan and that's why he wants to open our borders by 2023?
I think he wants Guy Sebastian to go personally.
Oh, that's right. Hillsong represent.
Yeah, Hillsong represent.
Fuck me.
Ireland.
Oh, to be sure. Let's do a little puppet show, shall we?
Okay, so at home, looked really cool. Live audience, absolute bullshit.
No, it didn't look cool.
No, the concept looked cool. I'm not saying it actually worked, but the concept, cool idea, looked shit live. She's performing in like a fifth of the stage.
I really feel we're back in the 90s watching Teabag.
Yes, and I like that, but I wasn't watching Teabag live in the audience.
No.
The other thing I felt really bad for, and you commented on this when we were watching it, when she then broke out at the end and ran on the stage and started singing it,
she was great. She had energy and, like charisma. And I feel that their staging fucked her up. Because you know why? Johnny Logan went, I didn't write this one. Yeah. You can't put that in.
Johnny Logan is historical. But the interesting part today, I was sitting there at work today and I realised
Reckon they're going to put that on his grave?
Probably. Middle of today...
He's already chiselled it.
He's written it. Middle of today, I realised at work that the Eurovision song I've been singing in my head all day was Maps by Leslie Roy from Ireland. And I'm like, I'm shocked by the fact that that's the one. It's the chorus hook. I've been searching all the wrong places. And I'm like, it's really cool when you get into it. But they did no favours on the staging and they balls that up completely.
Yeah.
So, also, look, pour one out for poor old North Macedonia. It wasn't a great song, and he should have just stuck with his museum from the video clip, which was wonderful.
Appalling.
From tonight, there's really only one thing we can talk about. Look, first of all, we'll mention Benny Cristo exists, and...
oh, my God.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
Oh, my God.
That wasn't great.
Oh, my God.
Also, wasn't it really good to see...
Do you think he was doing a theatre sports game and they're like, now say, oh, my God, like you're in an Italian restaurant. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Now say it like you're in Amsterdam.
Oh, my God. Now, what I was really pleased to see as well, before we move on to what we actually need to talk about, is that everyone's favourite douchebag from Georgia... who got nowhere near the grand final, by the way. His singing was atrocious. He's a horrible, repellent human being.
Yes.
Glad he didn't make it through. We need to talk about Denmark.
I somehow did not clock these Denmark.
Fire and flame.
It started off with them dinking on a bike, Okay, it wasn't on the handlebars, it was on the back. And then it just became...
85.
These two guys who went for a night at the Roxbury and didn't come back. It was fucking phenomenal because unlike, who was it that was putting on the whole 80s shtick? The one who I called Max Headroom.
Oh, that was Poland. Raphael with the...
Did we mention Poland?
No, we skipped him completely because it was...
Oh, that's right, because he didn't get through.
In his little glasshouse montage, he was like, Ace Rimmer.
Yes, that's right.
Flying his plane to Eurovision for the ride before he put on an 80s kitsch. But Denmark lived it.
They to me are like Denmark's what's the Australian
Body
band?
Socks.
No, Australian band, White Limousine. Client Liaison, They love it's an homage to an era and they just inhabit it.
They were wonderful. They were wonderful. And look, the audience was chanting for them at the end.
Denmark.
Finland! And it was like, that's not Denmark.
But it's not Denmark.
That's not Denmark.
Close, but not right.
Now, before we get on to our 5, I need to give a big shout out. Nikkie Tutorials.
Amazing. She's a tour de force.
For anyone who thinks that YouTube is not a real medium, look at the way she's gone with host. The others, by the way, Carl Stefanovic is doing a really poor job.
The Dutch Carl van Stefanovic.
Carl van Stefanovic doing a horrible job. But Nikkie is doing a brilliant job because she engages with the audience, because she's used to staring down the barrel of a camera with nobody there and engaging with millions of people.
Her interviews have been one of the highlights for me for this Eurovision.
She's natural, she's unflappable, she just doesn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
She's lovely. And like her little interview segments have been wonderful, and the little Nikkie tutorials Eurovision have been so well done.
Yeah.
I've been super happy with those. So let's quickly mention what we consider to be our 5. They don't have to be in any particular order.
No.
What do we have?
Okay, I'm going to throw out, because I want to kind of end with a specific group. All right. I'm going to say I really do enjoy Italy.
Yep.
I think they're tight.
Yep.
Are they one of my faves? No, but I think they're good.
Yep.
And they've got a really good chance of being top 5. How about you?
Okay, so I'm going to start, and this has been not easy. Like getting it down to 5, and that's a good thing, by the way, that it's not easy to get it down to 5. I love my man Jendrik.
Yes. Yep.
I love my man Jendrik.
He's my number 4.
I adore him. So
that's my number 4.
So Jendrik's your number 4.
Yeah, number 3.
I'm going to give my number 4 to. I'm actually after tonight. I'm actually going to give it to Jon's Tears from Switzerland.
Wow.
I really liked that performance, and I liked him.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to win, but I liked him.
Yeah. Me, Ukraine.
Yeah, you love. 3. I know you are. You are a bandit.
I love my Ukraine. I'm here for it.
You are a bandit for your Ukraine. I'll give you that much. Yeah. The Black Mamba
is your number 3.
My number 3.
All right.
Number 2.
Well, I'm presuming this is going to be your number 2 as well. Mm-hmm. Malta.
Yep. Look,
can't go past Destiny.
Of all the people we're going to mention, I think she's the most likely to win it.
Yeah.
And I will be absolutely thrilled to pieces. But we've both got the same number 1. It can't be anyone other than Dadi.
It can't be anyone other than Dadi. I was worried that 10 Years wasn't going to translate to stage as well. I'm thinking, he's written this amazing song.
It's a better song, by the way, than Think About Things. I love Think About Things. It's a better song.
But, Think About Things is Think About Things.
It's a moment.
It was a moment, and that moment didn't get to happen. It was like when you're masturbating and you're almost there and your finger just moves to the wrong spot and that's it, no more. Click, close up shop, and you've got to move on. There's nothing more to it.
You know what she's saying, ladies?
You can talk from the penile experience.
Is that the name of a new sort of fun house? The penile experience.
Look, I think it's Moldova's next entry into Eurovision. That'll be the crossover.
The crossover with the Sunstroke Project.
Yeah, the penile experience.
Anyway, so Dadi.
All right, so Dadi. And then we know the story behind it. We know it's a love story to Arnie. And as he told Nikkie Tutorials, I had to get Arnie's permission. And she's like, yeah, he had to come and ask me if I would like to consent to be on stage with him, singing me a love song. I mean, what a fucking, predicament to be in.
And the other thing is too, it's the most realistic love song I think ever written.
Yeah.
It's this whole, we've got a good thing going, how does it keep getting better? And like the whole conversation around, about being bored, I when he talks about the idea of I can't remember the last time I was bored and stuff like that. And it's like real life shit.
Yes, exactly. Like I think we relate very well to this. It's the fact that everything's thoughtful in what they do. Like there's the whole group of them just want to create and contribute. Whereas there's I forgot his name, the one who made the computer game. That's Johan.
Yeah.
Johan made the computer game for it to all go with. There's Arnie. She made the outfit of the monster for the
Yes,
and
there's a great tutorial.
yeah. And there's her doing the dance, and I love the big butt wiggle at the end. It's very cute. There's his sister making the rings.
Yeah.
There's Hulda, who's beautiful vocals holding up the pansexual flag.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just it's a group of people you want to hang out with.
Yeah, exactly. And I love them. I feel like, again, they were denied a moment last year that they rightfully should have got. And I would love, even though they can't be there in person, they confirmed again today there is no way they can take the stage.
God,
so
no. And and particularly when this disease is so just unpredictable.
And especially with Arnie being pregnant as well, you know, be very careful.
Did you know the baby's going to be called Laura? Your little girl.
That's wonderful. And I also like, by the way, when we talked about the keytar before, the keytar was designed to go around her stomach. That was how they designed
it's hollowed out.
Yes.
And it's bent so it can go around her belly.
So it goes around her belly. But I love I love them, and I hope that Europe decides to give them, even if they can't be there for it, give them the moment. Now, they don't need it. This is the thing. Dadi is made.
Yes.
By the way, his actual EP, the album, drops today.
Smart.
So go to his Twitter, buy the EP, folks. So there's a number of songs in there. It looks really good. I'm probably going to buy it. But in the meantime, he doesn't need to win it.
No.
But God, it would be lovely if they could.
Okay, here's the thing, right? One, Malta wins. It's held in Malta, which, beautiful. We've got friends who would kill to be there. We probably won't be able to get through because of border closures.
Yep.
But Malta's a beautiful country. It's, I think it's got a lot of potential there. If Iceland wins, we get Dadi on stage.
Yes.
We not only get to hear 10 years on stage, we also get to hear think about things
They'll do
on
it.
stage. Because they will
do it.
But number 2, Fire Saga.
Yeah, you don't think there's going to be a Ya Ya Ding Dong sing-along? Oh, come on, people.
You don't think there'll be a song-along, interval?
There's got to be a song-along moment at interval.
Yeah.
They could actually do the song-along for real.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. So the song-along could happen. Ya Ya Ding Dong can happen. Volcano Man can happen.
Volcano Man.
People are going to go, Husavik. Yeah, I know, it's a great song, but it's not a patch on Volcano Man or Ya Ya Ding Dong.
No, but then you get Husavik. We saw it performed
at
the Oscars, and it was what's her name?
Molly.
She's amazing, and I just feel that there's so much potential for Iceland to go there.
Look, we know you're all listening to this, Europe.
Yeah, so please.
You've got a choice.
Who wants to watch wee blogs or Nikkie tutorials?
When you've got us, that's what we exist for.
Up.
So, and with that, we're going to let you go for now. We will see you after the grand final with our special guest.
Ooh, yes.
So, with our special guest, it's Jay from the Great Canadian Baking Show.
And look, if we can wedge a baker in anywhere we can, we will.
We will, and we
what
do.
A baker to wedge in.
Exactly. He lived in Sweden. All of our Melody Festival updates come from Jay. He's our Swedish correspondent.
Swedish Canadian correspondent.
Yes, exactly. So we'll be talking to Jay, obviously, and talking about what happens in the grand final, whatever that might be.
Get his hot tips on what to bake to go with your Eurovision entry.
Oh, that could be quite good. We might do that, or we might not. Who knows? Anyway, until the grand final, I'm still Chris.
And I'm still Kristie.
And we'll catch you all later.
Ya, ya. Ding dong,
ding dong!